Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
Awkward because now it's left Cuz completely alone. Now going in, they're doing the do-si-do as the flash forward from Peter doesn't get the heroic charge, but there is finally Sponge being taken down. Doctom caught in the river though, and this is a complete disaster on both sides. Everyone just getting caught out. Yeah, Teddy getting that kill is a huge deal as Pleta on a flank angle here as Doctom with no flash, just going to get feather stormed. Pullback comes on through and Doctom is just deleted once again.
That is, when you look across the board, some scattered gold leads for KT is, oh boy, Teddy.
Oh dear. Teddy might be giving away some of that cash money. He does have level 7, but remember that feather storm still on cooldown. He's got flash. But I just don't know whether he's going to be able to use it, and they give the money to Doctom.
Not necessarily leading to significant game-losing advantages, but see if Sponge can find an angle here.
Yeah, Pleta wanting to try and get in there as well as Yukal's come round from the side. Blast cones over as Pleta finds the quickness, and they just blow up the Xin Zhao immediately. That will be the Drake secured here by Sponge as well. But the quicknessing Rakan was not really the way. As KT back at it again in the grub pit here, seeing whether they can lock this one down. First one goes over to Cuz. That's going to get at least 3 for KT. But it goes in, and PDD now in trouble. The charm's fantastic because trying to get rid of them. That Blade Caller was brilliant from Teddy, though, as now Peter looking to try and protect Doctom. PDD in the back of the pit, and they just get murdered. The Doggo going to lock that one down, as that is not a great charm, and casting out of there with the Blast Cone. KT still on the ropes, though, is now casting able to flash his way out. Flash from Doctom there as well. Yukal goes in, and there's the charm. It looks like Peter is going to be the sacrifices. KT get information. BDD on the wraparound as Peter able to avoid the charm nicely. Pleta a little bit awkwardly positioned as there is the keeper's verdict. The flash in from Peter to start the fight as Sponge is getting equalized. Has to flash all the way out of the fight as the Featherstorm used so aggressively. And I don't know whether I necessarily agree with it as now Rich diving on in, casting in a slow him down, but there's the kill onto Cuz, and DRX somehow just made it work.
They made it work, and I think putting all of your engage tools there and committing onto the Nefiri was probably not the game plan in terms of her pressing W and saying, I'm out of here, just noping out of the whole situation. Means that DRX are able to then get the collapse there. Ooh. And they're just so much more coordinated in these fights. It's a Chemtech Soul, which I don't really love here, but still, 2 dragons.
Used by DRX. A bullet time is there to stop that approach, right? And yes, you will put himself in harm's way, but maybe that's going to be your way of getting something. Is now BDD trying to get out of the way. It looks like Cuz going to be the target as the quickness comes on forward, and he is just going to be obliterated.
What is happening?
Well, it's not necessarily working here for KT, as Pleta's going to battle dance his way out. Finally, we do see that bullet time, and
there you go.
Equalizer actually that's able to take down the Rakan, and now everyone diving in on top of Teddy and Yukal. The Harpoon going to connect. The Featherstorm comes down as well, and that is going to keep Teddy safe. But look at
turrets.
This. Yeah.
2 turrets in trade, one of them an inner. And this is not what KT was looking for. They have the Realm Warp.
Another charge. Is now Peter looking for Yukal, who
can salvage it. And whereas everything else that DRX have been doing this game, especially in terms of team fights, but also on the map, feels very planned out to exploit, to attack.
Well, it could just be BDD. As now Rich could be in trouble as well. Keeper's verdict is going to knock him up as he looks for Doctom, but it doesn't quite work out. BDD going to be able to teleport his way out of here. Yeah. What happened? Where did he just? Yeah, Realm Warped his way to safety and then teleports all the way over towards this Otacon, as now Pleta could be in trouble. And Yukal is going to make his way in. The Doggo is a very long way away. Equalizer just to try and deter Yukal. But it should be Cuz that's able to lock this one down, and there it goes. And now Pleta finds himself the quickness. Casting probably sent home first, but Pleta, it's going to go down. There is that recall that we were talking about. Teddy able to pull back some of these feathers, but only gets BDD, and he's pretty tanky right now. Yukal still trying to be annoying as Teddy caught in the rune prison and just deleted. DRX, you cannot be going for fights like this as Sponge might be able to clean up, but remember, these are just recalls, and BDD probably didn't need to flash, but still, maybe he doesn't even get sent home as Rich comes on over. Finally, he does get sent back, and now I think the cleanup should be working out, unless Sponge dies. If he dies, it is possibly over for DRX as Rich possibly burnt to a crisp here. But not going to happen, and so KT lacking some of their buffs now.
Yeah, insta pings going down onto the Dragon on both sides, as that's going to be the next setup here. Sponge full health. As
oh no, Rich. To make it rain, invests the flash. Don't know about that one, but still, that is going to guarantee the kill and possibly even guarantee the Dragon.
I think that in this case, you know, you would have liked that flash for a Dragon fight, but they might not necessarily have to fight. And with that kill, stopping him there means that they can actually just go right in for the fight.
That Grump was on such a journey.
Yeah, he wanted to fight the Dragon too. He was pinging as well.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's like watching Milo and Otis, you know, as
if Sponge gets a steal here, oh god, he's not going to, but
he doesn't even need to go for it, right? They've already got 2 Dragons.
Just let this go.
The good old Raptor for Baron trade is what they're looking for here as it's down to 3,000 because they do evict the Rakan. Is now the bullet time finally in a good position. Casting dives forward though. I don't know about it because he's just going to get taken out. These health bars are so low, but still it's KT that are lying on the floor. Doctom needs to get some of these autos to land as Sponge goes untargetable and out goes the rest of DRX. So they do kill the Nefiri. It really could be going the distance. Having a look here at the gold graph, it really was sort of that one decisive fight for DRX, and then they were able to make basic
Death Note as well. Like he's ready for this next team fight to be the one that ends the game and snowballs him to a victory here. Buzz going in.
Yeah, he's looking for the angle as Sponge goes untargetable. Great knock-up as Pletter is going to be the first target. Not quite able to stop him from escaping as now BDD looks for the angle and Sponge is just going to be cut to shreds. Does finally get that cooldown back, but it is not enough. And back-to-back deaths might just mean the KT lockdown this Baron. Sponge, oh no!
Teddy wishes he had his ult right now.
Oh, there's some shock blast damage, but Peter is looking pretty durable. Pletter, not so much. As Casting with some harpoons doing some work here. As Peter just gets rid of the Ahri. Now it's 5 versus 3 around this Baron pit, and KT will be able to lock it down. Cuz with the smite picks that one up, and now Casting is just going to die as they all take the Realm Warp.
Actually, was very concerning here for me, because the Fury is very difficult to kill, but the Equalizer is so well placed as, okay.
All right, we're just looking to try and kill Yukal, who's smacked against the wall and taken out. There's still a turret here as well. And so KT might be able to...
Usually, it's on the list of Baron achievements that I'd put on my wall.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, it's a 2,000...
here for KT, so they really can't make that tough call.
Yep, Yukal finds the charm actually onto Casting, who finally has an arm guard. Now we're realm warping, we're looking for the angle. Rich just flashing away, but KT, they get the angle. They take down turret number 1. There goes turret number 2. And now Yukal looking for it in this back line. Doesn't find the charm. They'll lose the Dragon, but in trade for 3 turrets, you're probably taking that. As KT, where do we go from here? Where's the out? How does that one work? As in goes the quickness up Rakan. The Equalizer doing some work here though as KT just back out the way they came, I guess. There's the flash out from Casting, and now Sponge. A bit early to put that one on cooldown, but still,
it's a new champ. Back away. Fine. He's all right.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to flash, doesn't need to worry about anything. But KT are going to look for the Keeper's Verdict here to deny the entry.
Yeah, they get rid of Pletter to start this one off, as Sponge going to have to be an absolute hero. But look at this, the Baron is just eliminated. They do take out the Poppy, but now the Realm Warp looking to get them to safety. Casting is a sacrificial rumble. He's dead. There's nothing that he's going to be able to do about that one. And they'll trade 2 for... Because remember, if they just keep taking turrets, they've got buffed up minions, and that could just be 2 inhibitors to be taken.
The Dragon wasn't even up. DRX really dropped the ball here. KT just
10
walked
seconds
around them, and DRX... bit of a late punish here. Now, can they get the punish is the question. The inhibitors got on that. That's no question. But how many do DRX kill?
Yeah, Doctom. I think it's utilizing the right-click function of his mouse wolf. That's what he's doing.
And they're not stopping him. They're going to try to look for Chemtech Soul instead as BD is looking to end the game.
Yeah, he's pinging on the Nexus turrets. It's all right. Sponge is going to be... No! It's Cuz denying the Dragon Soul as well. And BDD takes down the first Nexus turret. Now the Equalizer is down. That one was gorgeous. DRX are just falling apart. KT, it's just one after the other. Better decisions. The flash is gorgeous from BDD, and he walks out of his own Realm Warp because he just does not need it, ladies and gentlemen. Rich running real quick, but I just don't think he's going to be able to catch up to this rise. And DRX, that is a cavalcade of poor decisions, one after the other.
Yeah, real lack of a unified shot calling voice here.
Oh, watch them just win. Okay, Peter is just going to look to walk this one off. It does not quite work.
Now, BDD did not use his teleport, so he can't just teleport right back in here.
The good old naked Nexus situation here. Doctom only needs about 4 shots onto that one as Rich is going to boot Cuz away. And BDD, look at that. He's just walking towards this Nexus. Doctom just sees a few autos, flashes out of the way, and KT will get the comeback victory here in game 1, but it was not clean. We are not even putting it in the red.
You're supposed to win against Ezreal. If you lose control for just 1 second, it's very hard to get it back, and the Ezreal just kind of coasts, and if he ends up clearing that wave and getting that faster rotation top, I think he's too worried about his UCal's going to come over for a punish.
Yeah, Magical Journey coming on through there as Peter only level 4. BDD comes on over, and Peter is actually going to survive. His casting is just going completely ballistic. There's the Infernal Chains, and UCal is going to get taken down. First blood picked up by his opposite number in the mid lane.
Casting.
Rich, you don't want that.
No, you do not.
Get better and better as now BDD forced to flash. As Sponge going to get thrown back into the rocks. Peter finds the Shattering Strike as there's the Magnet Storm. Connects onto a couple, but there is a gorgeous use of the Impale. And now Casting is looking to try and turn it all around. Doctom turns up as well. One after the other. He's knocking him down. And Teddy's pulled back. Casting just does a drive-by. Leaves that one up to his mid.
They went for the Rel instead, which gave him a lot more power in team fights, a lot more consistent engaged. But the Aatrox he's still got, and he is still making work.
Well, Rich is going to see what he can find as Umbral Dash is going to be the counter. As it turns out, Cuz now able to take,
already,
unless you're on one of those weird hoverboard things. As all right, Sponge and Rich going to see whether they can at least grab a structure here.
Hey, grub power.
Yeah.
They will not get the first one though.
They will not, and they will also miss out on feats of strength for that reason, as we've got some immediately upgraded Merc Treads here for Casting.
Going to get a lot stronger once he hits his 2-item spike, whereas the Varus is pretty relevant already. But you need to make sure they don't get engaged on.
Whoa! Peter is just looking for it. Okay, BDD, can you find a seismic shove? The answer is no, as now he's face-to-face with Rich. There's an Impale onto 2, but where's the follow-up? There is the public execution. But KT have kept most of them alive until now, as down goes Cuz. BDD trying to get himself out of there as Doctom finally able to affect the fight, but instead, he walks away. And as we say it, KT point positioning around this dragon is decent, but there's that control ward you can see for DRX inside the pit. They just did find themselves a team fight win.
I am concerned about Peter looking for another engage here with a good split of DRX right now.
Oh, shove going to be used onto Platter, and he's just dead. He does manage to temper Fate himself, but unfortunately, Fate, once it's tempered, it just comes out of the tempering, and then you're still dead. As True Shot Barrage is going to soften up Doctom just a little bit, but now 4 versus 5. This is going to be a difficulty as Peter was thinking about trying to find an angle, but it looks like it's just going to be Soul Point.
They have the Herald
for maybe this outer turret. Yeah, the Rift Herald going to be used. Gets a nice charge. But now DRX, can they actually finish it off? And Sponge looking to try and drive his way out. Does manage to do so. It's now Teddy. Oh my god, Casting flashing on top of him. The Infernal Chain setup is gorgeous. And he just executes the Ezreal. Now he's looking for a little bit more. Doesn't get the Q knock-up as the Impale is going to be there. But it's Casting that's dictating the end of the world here. It is not you, DRX. And Sponge is going to get brought back to reality. In goes Casting once again as the magical journey is taken. And Platter is able to get out.
You don't have your Ezreal. You can't keep fighting those. They are going to have to leave. But man, what a disaster here for DRX. Plata dies. They try to push the mid turret. They will get it here.
Yeah, well, will they? Is okay. In goes Rich. BDD makes it out via the Death Chamber, and that's the Ambessa grabbing.
That might just be the game. Might be the final nail in the coffin.
Yep. And that is going to be Sterix now completed here as Teddy taking a lot of damage. There's the Flash Magnet Storm after the Arcane Shift, and Teddy gets sleepy. He does manage to cleanse it away, but now Doctom comes on over. Tempered Fate comes down, and it is just over for DRX. They lose their jungler, they lose their AD carry. They're going to lose the Dragon and maybe Otacon and this outer turret.
Yeah, and I mean that's I think the final last straw here that broke the camel's back. DRX back broken. Now going to positioning so suspect, to be totally frank, in that last setup to try to push their way into Dragon.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like game one is wearing on DRX as we look here towards game number 2. That would have been a difficult time in the coach's booth and also a difficult time walking away from your PC after losing what should have been your game 1. I think we're seeing the results of that one right here as Hextech Soul on the board. Sponge looking to make his way in as Peter just trying to be a hero as they try and burst it down, and they do manage to do that. Cuz now in a bit of trouble here as the circle does go down, but remember, they have the Voracious Otacon. Rich is still going to die as Doctom puts an arrow in him as, what was that? Why are we taking that magical journey? That's so strange. Yucal might still be dead here as Casting's just having a great time. And Sponge going to be the consolation Scorpion here for the Aatrox to slurp up. On Vision, and Peter is just going to play guard man.
Again.
Yeah, just gets them out of there. That is going to be the Baron over to KT. They have already got Hextech Soul. I mean, honestly, that feels like game over. Just because they've got Lethality Varus with Hextech Soul, and so that means Doctom is just going to take pot shots forever.
He flashed again somewhere as well, so he still doesn't have his flash up.
In fact, no one does, which is pretty ridiculous. There is a great Shattering Strike onto Pleta as BDD looks for the rocks, and he'll find him as Doctom is just going 1v2. Sponge now has no damage follow-up as the shield comes in, and I just don't think that Sponge is going to be able to do it. Doctom will be able to take him down. That's a double, as now Rich is getting tired, he's getting sleepy, and Casting's going to put him in the ground. This one's over, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how Doctom did it, but he's turned around his career in this series.
Yeah, it looks like it. Avoids the True Shot barrage as well there in the final moment. 0 deaths on this Varus. It's a hard POM vote. Casting and Peter right now.
Oh, I like those, though. It's not bad.
And I think a lot of people will vote for Casting because he had the more recent pop-off game.
Yeah, and he looked pretty cool while he was doing it, which is very impressive. 5.3K on the Rebel Baron power play here.
Yeah, this is
seconds still to go.
Significantly larger than the last
I would say so.
Yeah, as Rich is looking for some bounty gold here in the top lane, that's the state of this game. He doesn't have TP. He is not coming home anytime soon, and they're just going to look for another inhibitor here.
Yeah, and remember, if anyone gets tagged by anything, they're almost just dead because you then get the follow-up of all of the CC. Rich will be able to get this, but it's in trade for everything. True Shot Barrage does connect onto 2, but there's a Magnet Storm onto the rest, and we blinked, and then 2 were dead. Down goes Pleta, down goes Sponge.
That's a
unending despair. That's what he just picked up, and honestly, I feel like he already had it. As there's a flick back onto Yucal, he's destroyed as well, and the public execution is unfortunately for Rich himself. Down go these Nexus turrets, and KT with a 2-0, but remember, we are not allowed to say it's clean because it absolutely wasn't, even if this game number 2 kind of was.
It was a messy 2-0. They're going to have a lot of prio there. Top side, we'll see how Clear plays this one out into Kingan's Gwen. We have seen Kingan have some, I don't know, I feel like shield now as well.
Ooh, he might get eaten though. As Gideon looking to come in here as there is the flash. It's the slow, and that's going to be enough. Gideon going to take first blood here on the Xin Zhao, and it's a brilliant start for Nongshim.
Huge win here. That's a new one. Yeah. New archetype unlocked.
Very interesting. As the handshake comes through, Lahan's taking a fair bit of damage. There is the flash into the pulverizers. Diablo did not pick up turret aggro, but Gideon's here. Diablo's going to see whether he can kill Jiu, but he's going to miss the hail of arrows, and that is going to be a second one for the Xin Zhao. Dragon started up here by B&K. There's still 1,000 gold down, though. There's 2 early kills here for the Xin Zhao. So scary. But they're utilizing, Gideon's going to have so much control.
They're utilizing that lane prio that we talked about in draft really well down here on the bottom side. So Raptor knows this is where they're going to have a big edge. This is where they can push for those big leads. Only 120 gold or so is the lead here for Diablo. The prio got them a dragon, but it didn't stop the grubs from going over as Lahenz is here again.
Yeah, Heba Pulp going to come in as Vikla is just dead once more. That's a killing spree over to the Xin Zhao, and this Yone is not working.
Gideon, man, is back again as Gio is left alone by Lahenz, so Diablo is going to be able to pick up more plate gold here. As an all-in?
Yeah, throws down the ulti. Does have cleanse up and available as in comes the Realm Warp, but Raptor just gets rid of Calyx immediately, and the Impale is going to lock down the cow. Diablo doesn't get the kill, but Raptor's happy to pick that one up, and BNK, beautiful defensive play for that one. And Raptor just right place, right time, man. Being able to pull Calyx out as well as the optimal target. Maybe a little bit unfortunate as far as Realm Warp positioning is. Lehens, he's pulverizing again. Gideon wanting to make his way over as now there's no equalizer and no hope as Kingin gonna lock that one down, and Lehens will be able to survive with Insus is kind of crazy here from Diablo.
This is a pretty weird situation, but I guess it's because he went for the PTA. See what else he builds here is Clear's gonna ult this wave.
Yeah.
And still die.
Yeah, he's very, very dead. The equalizer doesn't do very much other than clear out the minions, and chain dying is the Rumble not the case.
So a Ryze that has a 500 gold lead, a Gwen that has a 1,000 gold lead, they both have 5 grubs. Look at Kingin go.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll race for turret. No, I don't think so. I think you lose that race, but at least they're going to look for a second dragon. It's Cloud Soul. So right, it backfired, but you love to see a plan come together like this from Nongshim. Quite unusual draft in terms of how they're utilizing the Zeri pick. But
Kellen. The handshake does come through, but the wind becomes lightning does, and unfortunately he goes the same side as Gideon, as there is the equalizer. Sorry, not the equalizer, the Impale, as Diablo's over the wall, but so is Kingin. The needlework is good, and where did the Varus go? Clear will turn up, but unfortunately they don't have their AD carry. That is a decent ulti from Vikla though, as Kingin will be taken down, and now Clear gets in amongst it. Raptor's there as well, and it is going to now be a 3v3 as Calyx turns up, and Giu
commit.
And it's another turret that's going to go down on the bottom side. Nongshim are just running them around the map. This macro play is gorgeous as Giu not going to get caught because he can skate through walls.
Now Nongshim just have so much control they can start this Otacon up. They can look for a turn here.
Clear. It's basically find a teleport angle. Let's see. Because Kellen, if he gets on this with a really good ulti, that could be a whole lot of value as it's Ruinous Otacon. Remember, that's going to go down. It's now BNK looking for it. There is a decent angle on the ulti from Vikla as they lock down Lehens. There's 2 kills already here for BNK. The knock up onto Gideon is good as Vikla dives on forward. Clear and Diablo are getting low though, and Giu pops off. The answer is there. It's a Quadra as Calyx, the last man standing.
Quadra, now Calyx will get these plants as well. They got some of the ones earlier.
This is a moment that I think Giu is very used to in the game, where he gets his certification and is pretty psyched about it, as Clear is going to chase down Calyx. Raptor going to join in as well, as I think the Ryze is just dead. There he goes. No assist going over to Diablo, unfortunately, but there is something back here for BNK. As, all right, we look for a bit of an angle on Vikla's side. Kingin's in so much trouble, actually. Another knock-up, and he's almost just straight up dead.
Yeah, I was actually worried for Vikla initially there, because Zeri has
a really rough start to the game, as we know. So now trying to find some value here.
He's got his Immortal Shield Bow now. See if that helps.
Oh dear, there's a knockup. They think they've got a bit of a catch here as they deliver Gideon to the team. Not sure about that one as the bailout doesn't quite work, but down goes the Varus. Kellen is barely surviving as Vikla looks for an ulti on a Giu, but doesn't get it. It's a big shield, but not big enough as the ram into the wall under the cow. It's Clear is going to be able to barbecue him, but now the rest of them, they need to get the hell out and the hell out fast.
They are so doomed if they do not get out, and they will. At least 2 of them survive. Raptor and Kellen. Nongshim are just going to turn this into
the enemy team.
Yeah, it's a tricky Varus angle for sure.
Yeah.
Great in lane though.
Well, Calyx has found Kellen, who just explodes. And now wind becomes lightning. There's the extendo beam as well. Decent impale as they do look to try and take down Gideon, but he goes into that circle. In goes Vikla as well though. And down goes the cow as now Diablo wants to find it. He flashes, but it's not going to be enough to take down Calyx, and they are too far behind, ladies and gentlemen. It's a double kill over to this Ryze, and now I think Nongshim can just grab themselves a Baron.
Diablo, man, he's one man against the world in this game. He's trying his best. His positioning is good. His Clear wants to come over here and look for a denied, but he does not have his ultimate. He does not have flash, and he is likely dead.
Yes.
He's very dead. Man, this game is really off the rails here for BNK.
Maybe stop Baron.
They did stop the Baron.
Fail Barrows. Maybe it's a different story. That he didn't.
Yeah, this Ryze kind of doing the boom boom.
Okay, well, the Baron is down to 3k as we jump back to live. It's now dead as Kingin's over the wall. I'm not sure about Raptor's positioning in this fight. I think he's just going to die as now Gideon looking to find even more. As Diablo in melee range is certainly something that's going to be difficult to contend with as Kingin over the wall. Vikla looks to try and take him out as Jiu, he's going to get another kill at the same time. And look at that health bar. He is extremely happy with the game state right now. It's a triple kill for Calyx. And yeah, B&K, I think they are not going to be in this game for very much longer, as there's a nice little knock-up. He's still out ulti, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Gideon was apprehensive, and he should have been.
Yeah.
But I think they'll take the extended back here, the back delay, for Nexus. I think they'll take the trade. I think they're very happy with how this draft played out in game one. Nongshim with a huge win here.
Yep, and Vikla doesn't even go back to his soul. He just goes up to the heavens, as Calyx and Jiu have got enough damage to deal with Raptor, although that's a nice impale, and Jiu's just dead. So maybe the Nexus will live for a little longer.
However, I guess you could say. But yeah. I really want to talk about Diablo, but I guess we won't get a chance to.
Well, Raptor is trying to get bailed out. Chains of Corruption coming on in there as Diablo Hepa pulls, and then he's not able to do auto attacks. Still, there is no follow-up as the Realm Warp does absolutely nothing. And Lahens and Jiu are both dead. So Jiu died at some point. So did Vikla. No, he was still coming back.
He's going to be able to get it done. But I love that he's like identified himself as the main character, and it's not main character syndrome, it's just the truth.
Yes, he has to. He has to be the one to get it done. I think Vikla has actually had a better closing out of the game thus far as well, but I think really some costly mistakes in the early game were not exactly helping out the B&K win conditions. All right, there's the flash in from Gideon, finds an ulti, but ultimately doesn't really do very much of anything at all, as the bailout is actually going to work. Diablo goes golden, but I think he's still dead. There he goes. And B&K, they are going to be able to go out with a bang, but go out they will, as it's Jiu to finish off the ace, and Nongshim with their team
fights get so tricky to play out, so maybe that was the thought process, but now you're kind of guaranteed this hole in the top lane and the Nidalee situation, although...
Yep, Lahens goes in. Untargetable is Raptor, though, as there's another crash down from Kellen. Nicely done. The bleed's still working. There's the Flash Emperor's Divide, and that is going to deliver them a beautiful heroic charge from Gideon. Seismic Shove goes wide, and Nong play out this top lane as some rocks go down in the mid lane, and another Emperor's Divide being looked for and will be found. The flash comes through, but it's still going to slam Vikla in.
But it's so awkward.
Yeah, there's the crash down from Kellen to try and get him out of there, but that's a decent wall. Gideon gets rid of two, though, and then the heroic charge onto Vikla. He puts down some rocks and tries to get rid of them, but Lahens just catches him out, and Calyx grabs another one. Now they're looking to make their way back in as Kellen finds a Magnet Storm. Lahens gets the Solar Flare gorgeously, though. Another heroic charge. Gideon is on an absolute...
Yeah, and I feel like we're just seeing the symptoms of it all over the map.
Like, the trades there we did see were kind of all right for Clear, and I think that if they...
procs.
Feats of Strength. So that is Nongshim locking it down. Some upgraded shoes now going to be there, as the Unstoppable Onslaught is going to bring the Scion to a wall. And Clear doesn't exactly have a huge health bar and then just gets stunned up. Even the Mystic Shot is not going to connect True Shot Barrage, but it's not going to take down the Kai'Sa before she kills the Scion. And Kingin, in the meantime, is in the bottom lane just destroying turrets.
Two turrets down here. I'm not sure.
Len's going in, gets the flash. That's an immediate cleanse as the heroic charge doesn't quite do enough. As Diablo then finds an Azir. Lahens also surviving for so incredibly long as Vikla looking for Geo on the backline, and does manage to find him. Clear teleported in, but Gideon gets another heroic charge. The seismic shoves are just not finding the mark, and it's a double kill for Kingin. B&K are just falling apart in this series as Vikla with no more another crash down here from Kellen. Magnet Storm picks up a couple as now Lahens looks for an angle. The killer instinct is so good as Diablo. Can they protect him? The answer is yes! Lahens gonna go down as well, and the Emperor's Divide just to get rid of a Scion is not the play you want to see. B&K back on the map, and Kingin is in the bottom lane doing exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, Kingin is just going to keep pushing this until Clear shows up. We'll get an extra turret, so gold lead slight.
We almost have the Mirrorman undone for the Ezreal as well, as his Hextech Dragon now being started. B&K were able to get the first strike, which was that cloud to start us off. So it will just be an equalization of dragons if Nongshim are able to get it, and it looks like B&K have no interest in... I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it feels like there's an abnormally large amount
as Diablo is going in.
This is another engage here as Gideon trying to be the hero, and Clear always finds these angles onto Geo. Raptor looking for it as well. The Magnus Storm, it's just a dog pile, quite literally, on top of this Kai'Sa.
Yeah, Geo is having a bit of a rough mid-game here. Constantly getting caught or just engaging in a little bit too early and dying.
Yeah, well, Emperor's Divide going to throw Raptor underneath the inner turret. He does go untargetable, but I don't know whether it's quite enough. They do take down Lahens, the dog survives, and then Italy is taking another turret. I don't even know whether this is worth for B&K in the end, as Kingin is looking for this 1v1 into Clear as well, or is Clear looking for the 1v1 into Kingin? I'm just not entirely sure, but he is just going to back away after eradicating yet another structure. As now Raptor going untargetable here into Calix, who doesn't have the ulti and is taking a lot of damage from the doggos. The flash forward, conquering Sands, and down goes the Nefiri.
Yeah, Nefiri had to flash earlier, so Raptor
really
good. Otacon is still being taken in live, so might have to zoom in on that one instead of watching this ensuing fight. It's funny to watch Raptor go fly, but yeah, that is going to be the Otacon taken just for free in live. Not entirely sure what the vision setup was, as they're looking for something onto Lahens.
Done. I mean, Gideon was spotted there, and look at that, the demolish proc, it's just dead.
He 3-shots the turret.
Yep. As Aurora the Slayer doesn't quite connect, so Kingin's just able to get himself out of there, and then as the push and pull happens, Nongshim are able to move in towards this inner turret as Geo. Oh god, okay, Magnus Storm onto 3. Kellen finds the angle, and now they're looking to try and send them home. Picking up some gold in the meantime, as well as Calix. Oh god, the Mega Cone is gonna not exactly do what Diablo wants it to, and yeah, this Azir is also a bit of a problem, as Kingin gonna get knocked up, as Clear realizes that, I mean, it's kind of hopeless, isn't it, trying to fight this guy?
There are a few problems, I would say, here on the side of Nongshim that B&K are struggling to solve, and this one may be the biggest of them, as Kingin, he has Sundered Sky, he has his Hullbreaker, he has Res.
Yeah.
Well, he is withdrawn, potentially?
Yeah, the crashdown comes in. What are we doing, guys? Are we trying to hold on to just see whether we can buy some time?
They want a pet cat, Atlas!
Well, there's the ulti and a flash that they now have to use, as they're just trying to... Oh, maybe they're just waiting for the timer? Just hold him in position, guys. And there it is, the buff is now worn off, and now it's a real kill. Congratulations, guys, an extra 100 gold. Unless they can't, there it goes. Okay, so Vikla is able to lock that one down.
Sorry guys, Caster Chris said he wasn't gonna...
As Raptor flips over the wall, Lahens dealing with a whole bunch of pets, as there's a nice little knock-up. Weaver's Wall just going to break off the rest of this fight. Lahens trying to get himself out of there. The crashdown doesn't quite work, but there goes the Leona to start this one off. Gideon getting rid of the Scion so they don't follow up with anything more, and Kingin did have teleport, but he wasn't alive.
Nope. 2 kills, let's see if they can get more.
All right, Raptor going for even more here as the Emperor's Divide now on cooldown. Diablo, they just need to protect him. Another Magnus Storm comes in as there's a beautiful flick. Gideon in trouble though, and down goes Kingin. Sorry, not Kingin, Kellen, the other one with a K. As Trusha Barrage, ooh, looking for the snipe, doesn't quite get it onto Gio, who is very, very low.
Very low, didn't have barrier, but had the locket as well as his killer instinct to survive that last exchange. He's super low now, and they're trying to turn around.
Yeah, Clear really doesn't want to use his ultimate defensively, as Gideon taking a lot of damage. And there he goes, and there he goes down, as the Zombie Scion actually going to be helping out here for a few moments. Calix goes golden, and Clear will find a few autos. Gio just still trying to be used.
B&K whatsoever.
Oh, look at Diablo, just immediately Arcane shifts forward. That's what we want to see out of this young man, as Gio's in trouble yet again. Raptor managing to pick up the kill pretty comfortably, and that was not the keeper's verdict that Gideon was looking for. Still he's able to run, but is it actually going to get him to safety, as Raptor is going to chase him down and say nope, it is absolutely not. As now Clear looking to turn it. Another seismic shove, and Diablo's over the wall. Lahen's in trouble. He does have the Eclipse, but it is not enough to keep him alive. Calix finds 3 with the ulti, but there's no follow-up. Does he need it though? That's the question. He takes down the damage. Shattering strike from Kellen, and Raptor is running away, and I don't think Kellen's going to be as lucky. Why is every fight like
15 seconds on Diablo? So many super minions though in the base. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and Kingen just does so much damage to these structures as Raptor looks to go untargetable. Clear is going to turn up, and that is going to mean the Nongshim have to vacate the area. So it costs them, yeah, 1 inhibitor turret. Sorry, Nexus turret, as Calix, Okay, now Nongshim, look for the Baron.
Okay,
and that should be the big winner.
I think that they could have just done this off of the outset, done a reset and come over there, but they decided to try to end the game. They did not get the mid inhibitor, by the way, so that one actually stays alive because they walked through it to try to end. So that's actually huge for BNK. I don't think they can deny this Baron in any world, though. They're just going to try to push out this mid wave preemptively to keep this inhibitor alive. Although,
the Baron's just taken.
Yeah, they thought about maybe going over there, but it's a little bit too slow. And take this Dragon, and Nongshim are considering contesting it, but don't actually push anywhere. This Baron may not be real.
Down towards the bottom side. Yeah, Vikler on a flank angle as well, looking for a wall, wants to set it up. As Diablo able to move out of the way of the Solar Flare. Only one Nexus turret between Nongshim and the first 2-0 victory over BNK of the season. And Jiu's in the top lane, trying to make that one happen. Raptor really needs to get in here and start something, and they are going to do so. Out comes the Scion as well, and Calix is the target, but he's able to, never mind! He's shot down, Diablo gets on top of him, Lehens also to be taken out here, and Raptor is able to follow up onto Jiu. I don't know whether he's going to survive this as King and flashes after him. Diablo, you need to hit those! You need to hit those Mystic shots! As Kingen now going to try and take them on a merry goose chase here, and I don't know whether this is going to change the outcome of the game, nor is that True Shot Barrage going to be able to take down Kingen, but Roar the Slayer might be able to slow him down, and Diablo able to get in there and finish him off. So BNK still dealing with the base. Thankfully, these Nexus turrets do respawn.
Looks like that second one is going to...
A bit of a battle over a blue buff as the Solar Flare is going to split the Red Sea as Lehens goes in one more time. Gideon out again as Jiu. We said he didn't have the damage. That looked like a lot of damage. Only onto the Rel though, and he might actually have to trade his life for it as he opts into a 1v1 versus Diablo. Now Calix is just throwing them all away. Lehens, can you survive? The answer is absolutely yes, as Diablo gets himself over the wall, but the rest of his teammates are all dead, ladies and gentlemen. And Gideon slams the Ezreal into the wall, and now it's a Scion against the world. And I'm having a hard time working out how the Scion lives in those odds. As now Kingen dashing on top of him. These inhibitors still dead for quite some time, and the Scion is just going to be relegated to his fountain. The Nexus goes down, and Nongshim are going to be the first team to 2-0 BNK